Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So guys, yesterday I mentioned in my video that Changpeng Zhao was bonking with Brad Garlinghouse in Liechtenstein. And I didn't know where that picture was, and then somebody brought it to my attention. I believe it was Sean Schaefer, and one other person as well. I'm sorry, I don't remember who that was. And then Sean Schaefer actually did send me this. It's an image from a tweet from Bank XRP, and it actually looks like it was Michael Arrington who was bunking with Changpeng Zhao in Liechtenstein. It says here, Fireside Chat, the Binance story with Changpeng Zhao, and the moderator, Michael Arrington, co-founder of TechCrunch and partner of Arrington XRP. So there is indeed a Binance XRP connection there. But today we're talking a little bit about XRP's xRapid is the future, says Alastair Constance. This was in the news, and Alastair Constance is the CEO of Mercury FX, and he's basically just explaining, guys, I'll link all these articles in the description if you want to read further. He's basically explaining how, they just recently adopted the tech, and he sees it as being the future of payment transfers. Over here, Ripple's managing director for South Asia talks about high street banks being interested in Ripple. Not going to go over these in depth, guys, but you can read them if you want. I thought this was kind of interesting. Abra CEO says yes to XRP for U.S. stocks as Ripple partners with 11 new universities. Let me read a little of this. The crypto platform Abra will give users in 155 countries the ability to purchase fractions of high-priced stocks such as Facebook, Amazon, and Netflix, as well as exchange-traded funds with XRP. Abra is already rolling out the new trading feature using Bitcoin, and the company CEO Bill Barhydt says it will implement the same functionality for XRP in the future. So meanwhile, Ripple, though, has announced 11 new partnerships with leading universities around the world. The company's university blockchain research initiative, the UBRI, is designed to provide grants and support programs to help grow the blockchain ecosystem. And here's a look at Ripple's new partners, and it gives a list of 11 universities. Lots of these you probably have heard of. And down here it says a total of 29 universities are now on board with the UBRI program. Guys, huge moves. Ripple just seems like they want to get their claws in every possible facet of education, of finance, any avenue where you can use XRP. Ripple will find. And this is great too, because part of the problem about buying stocks in the stock market, there's always stories where we said, I wish I had bought this stock when it was this price, when Apple was under $5, or when Facebook had just started, or, could you imagine if you bought Amazon back during the dot-com boom in the late 90s? We all have these stories, or at least I've heard somebody who has said that. And now it's still possible to buy stocks, or at least it seems like this is what this Abra platform will do, that you can buy fractions of high-priced stocks. Kind of like how you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin because it's too expensive. You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. And I've always wondered about that. Being able to buy a fraction of a stock will still allow people to buy into the companies that they feel comfortable buying into, and not have to lay out the cash for a full $150, $200 share of a company that is very valuable. So it seems like this is moving in the direction XRP will help in processing these micropayments, so that everyday people will be able to buy fractions of stocks the same way you can buy fractions of cryptocurrencies. Very interesting there. Binance CEO compares his new blockchain to XRP and Nano, says the move away from Ethereum is coming in the next week or two. And just going to read this quote down here from CZ, it's going to be more like Neo or even Ripple. Smaller numbers of nodes, and each node will be rather large. And their new blockchain is called Binance Chain, the Binance DEX. Obviously, companies creating cryptocurrencies today are more likely to move away from the proof of work model, just because of all the limitations that it has. And so I thought it was quite interesting that CZ did say, and Binance is, of course, one of the biggest crypto exchanges on planet Earth at this moment, that his blockchain is going to be comparable to XRP and Neo. I thought that was very telling in terms of the technology, at least. Finally here, I just wanted to show you a video from XRP_veteran. Thanks a lot for posting this. I just happened across this, wanted to give him credit. This is from the Unchained conference back in 2018, back in the summer, where Joel Katz, David Schwartz, answers the liquidity makers and scaling in public. For those of you wondering, how are we supposed to sell our XRP and make a profit? Well, you know, there's always the spec market, of course, but you don't want to rely on speculative traders. Once the real world utility comes in and that liquidity is needed, that's where the real money will be. And this is David Schwartz kind of going over that. Let me just play you this clip right now. I'll just play that here.
I was just wanting to know what kind of scale the banks are currently using this to trade amongst each other, because I mean, if they're doing it on the existing, you know, traditional crypto exchanges, wouldn't there be issues with liquidity pockets, right? Like for a bank to settle a couple $2 billion amongst each other, I just don't see how they could possibly get to that size without materially moving the market against each other.
So no one is settling on a digital asset at scale today. What's going on at scale today is the messaging part that's able to settle on a digital asset when the liquidity is there. Whether or not what's happening on the digital exchanges right now is there are really only two participants. There's market makers and there's speculators, and that's part of what I think is making the market so unhealthy. The market makers are deathly afraid that speculators are going to see a price go up on one exchange and beat them by a millisecond and sort of, you know, make them take a loss and vice versa. What we're trying to do with xRapid is bring to these crypto exchanges market takers, people looking for liquidity who don't care what crypto prices are doing. The thesis is that if we do that, market makers will make more money because there won't be people trying to force them to, you know, take a buy when the price is dropping and vice versa. And they'll respond, if I see you making a lot of money, I'll make just a little bit less money and someone else will make less money still. So we think that bringing in like real demand for payments will bring the spreads down and bring the offer volumes up. xRapid, we'll see if we're right about that. But you're absolutely right that there has to be more liquidity. The volatility problem is solved by the speed. The next question is, can we solve the liquidity problem? And I think as xRapid scales up, we'll see whether this just brings more liquidity, or in the negative scenario, do we just use up all the liquidity and then the market just dies? I don't think that'll happen. I think what market makers are looking for is people to take the liquidity that they provide. But we'll see very soon.
So there you go. Very interesting. We'll see very soon was his last remark there. And this was back in July. So, you know, they're rolling out xRapid. And as you guys heard there, they need market takers to be able to take that liquidity from us, from market makers. You know, us being speculators, right? Holding XRP on the speculation that the price will go up. But ultimately, the market takers won't care what the price is. They'll just need the liquidity. They just need XRP. And this is what a lot of us have been saying for a while. So guys, this is a long-term hold. You know, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slow process. You know, you've got to hodl your XRP in order to see those prices really move, in order to see that xRapid adoption take place in the world. Anyways, thanks again to XRP_veteran for posting that. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.